listening to the Gettin Salty Experience Podcast.
And away we go. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Gettin Salty Experience Podcast. It's the only podcast in the entire world, maybe other worlds, I don't even know, Pete. Could be other planets, that brings the firehouse kitchen table to you guys. As always, joined by my buddy there. He looks like Shaft or something with that cop from the 70s with the scully cap and a new beard. Serpico.
That's right, Serpico.
Ruffy Refrano. There he goes.
I'm going to watch that tonight, baby.
Also, we got Pandemic Pete on the wheels of steel.
I've gotten every disease this year so far.
Yeah, man.
It's
Yeah.
only January.
We got a good show for you tonight. This is going to be a little off the beaten path of our usual ruckus comedian or no holds barred type of thing. So you guys better listen up because we got some good info. Just like I think it comes off the heels of the Rob Brown PA. All the good info that we got from that show. So listen up because I've actually changed my mind on a lot of the things we're going to talk about. So we'll get into it. But before we dive in, let's meet our guest. It's Drew Melson.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
What up, Drew?
I'll tell you what I like most about Drew. We didn't even send that half for free. He bought that at a trade show.
like 5 years ago. God bless him.
Yeah.
Probably 5+ years ago. It was awesome. Found it in the closet, man. I was like,
Struggling.
So all you cheapos that are on
Yeah,
just
right
for
now.
the free bags tonight, I said free. We're gonna have free giveaways. Drew over there was actually,
Shelling out a few shekels.
out loud. So we got right there. We love him. We love the guy right there. And he was a fireman. He works for True North. We're gonna do a lot of stuff with True North in the upcoming episode. So let's dive right into it there, my man. Drew, tell us a little about yourself. You were a volunteer and a part paid. Give us the whole
thing.
the whole shebang.
So I started my career in about 1988-89 with the Lower Marin Township Fire Department, Bryn Mawr Fire Company, and southeastern Pennsylvania. And spent some time bouncing around from a couple of different stations through Lower Marin Township, Gladwin, Ardmore, and such. And I ended up had the opportunity to take a full-time position in the fire industry in Houston, Texas. And so I never went away to college. I decided to take the plunge and I left for Houston. And so basically, long story short, several years later being down in Houston, I got back into the fire service with the Champions Fire Department in Northwest Houston outside of Harris County. Spent some time there and made some good friends, connected, ended up going to Texas A&M Municipal Academy through there, got some training at Texas A&M, which is a great fire training school. And I ended up had some issues with my family. My dad got sick and I ended up having to move back to PA to help my mom and dad get their stuff back together. And then some way or another, I ended up moving down to Delaware, where my dad's from, down in the Lewis area. And one thing led to another. I moved to Ocean View, Delaware, and was with Millville Fire Company for a brief stint. And then I ended up meeting my wife through the Ocean City Fools Christmas party one year. And we went on a blind
Was
date.
she a volley too, or you just went on?
She was in the ladies auxiliary with Ocean City Volunteer Fire Company.
Nice.
We kind of got hitched, and I lost I drew the short straw on who was going to move to where, and so I ended up moving to Maryland, and I've been here for 17 years. So it's all
Crabs.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, but I've been with True North, just so you guys know. I'm going on my 10th year. So I just had my 9-year anniversary, January 4th, with them. Great company to work for. I've always endeavored working for True North. I actually sold their product prior to coming aboard with them. And when I had the opportunity, Steve Messiano, our president, asked me to come aboard. It was just an honor to come in. And now I'm continuing to work with fire departments, pushing our PPE line, wildland clothing. We've got a lot of stuff, as well as the last, obviously the fourth quarter of last year. We do a lot of stuff with fire-resistant clothing for the utility and oil and gas industry. So we've been extremely busy keeping our utility friends and folks warm. So That's where I'm at right now.
How long has the company been in business?
We are actually going, next year will be our 30th year as True North being in business. It's kind of ironic. Alex started this 30 years ago making backpacks for REI and the outdoor industry. And he had some wildland firefighters come into play, and they asked him to make some fire packs so they could carry the fire shelters. And one thing led to another, and that's how our whole line of fire packs started. And then one thing's led to another. We started wildland clothing, structure products with our RIT bags. We've got a lot of accessories. There's too many to run through on tonight's episode, but you guys can check us out at truenorthgear.com and see all the different products that we have to offer.
Right. So that's actually what we're going to do with Drew too. We wanted to segue a little bit into the wildland firefighters, because those guys are badass too, man. And we don't really know too much about that, being structural firefighters. Most of the audience, I would say 90% of them are structural firefighters. So we'd like to get those wildland guys. Maybe you said a few. Maybe we'll hook up. We'll do something.
I do. I would love to get them involved in. I have one in particular who's a former hotshot. He's actually an acting assistant chief out in Colorado right now, and really, really good guy. I actually grew up with him in the fire service in Bryn Mawr Fire Company. I won't say his name. I don't want to get him on the loop yet, but I will definitely get him involved in.
That'd be cool.
Touch with you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's some dangerous stuff, man. Those wildland firefighters, man. They work for months at a time, 2 or weeks at a time, right? Is that the job? 14-day turnarounds, usually what it is, and then they, they're out in the elements at fire camp, and no showers. You know how that works. And it's not like our we get done with a fire, then we can get back to the station and wash and get reconned up. You guys are out there in the elements for 14 days straight, and then they try to change out the crews depending on how bad the wildfire season is. And last year, wildfire season was extremely bad for at least the West Coast.
I mean, every year I hear. I mean, it's every year since I'm born. I think since I'm walking on the earth. It just fires at certain times of the year, right? I guess the winds and something. I mean, last year it seemed like that was the worst ever.
Yeah, you get out in California, you got the Santa Anas that come in there. And the bad thing is a lot of people have, the urban sprawl, they've built houses in that wooded area. So now you've got wildland guys fighting house fires, and it's somewhat of a mess.
Crazy.
So,
yeah, that's tough. All right, so let's get right into because I know the guys, they heard free somewhere. I said free, and they're all over free. So actually, let's talk about, because this is what I was talking to you about, Drew. Like, I kind of changed my mind over the years about Decon bags and about, not exposing the whole 9 yards. Yeah, in the beginning of my career, I was like, the dirtier you get, the cooler it is, the saltier you are. My brother was a chief, or he was a deputy chief, and I would come out from the building, and he goes, "What are you doing up there? Rolling around in the dirt? What are you doing?" And over the years, man, I've definitely changed the way I think, especially after talking to Rob Brown and seeing a lot of guys come down with cancer and all this other stuff. So let's talk about our gear bags that we got here, man, because the rest of the country, even the FDNY, everybody knows plastic bags. You throw your stuff in a plastic bag, and that's their idea of a Decon bag.
But before we even get deeply into the Decon bag, though, there are a few facts that you guys sent over to us, Drew, and I just wanted to post a couple of these banners. And this is why we're talking about Decon bags. Firefighters face a 9% higher risk of cancer diagnosis. To your point, Kev, right? Yeah. Like, we're getting more and more aware of this stuff. And also, between 2002 and 2017, 61%, it's almost 3/4 of line of duty deaths were attributed to cancer. And lastly, you sent us that also another point being that 1.42 million plastic trash bags are used annually for Decon, which is, environmentally unsound. So more importantly, though, to your point, Kev, these guys are out there fighting the big C as well as fighting fire. And that's important for this product,
Yeah, so give us a little spiel on your Decon bag before we start talking about how guys just willy-nilly throw contaminated stuff in their car, or bring it home to their kids and whatnot. Tell us about your bag.
So our Decon bags, pretty unique. It is actually machine washable. You're going to wash it with your outer shells, so that's super important. It's not to be disposed of. As you can see my camera, you can see in my camera right now, this is how small it actually folds up into. It actually can be placed in your regular turnout gear bag. We do have some departments that have purchased these to go underneath one of the jump seats on the rig. So that's another opposite possibility. And then we do have departments that don't just use this for turnout gear, but they're using it for like the two hood exchange when you're on scene. You're exchanging your Nomex hood, getting a clean set of hood, and then all the hoods are clean, or actually stowed in this bag, and then basically put on the rig and taken back to the firehouse to either get cleaned on an on-site washer and dryer, or it could be sent out to an ISP facility, which many departments decide to go that route, so they can file 1851. So
Drew, you're saying that actually at the fire scene, excuse me, companies are collecting gear right at the scene? I didn't know that.
So yeah, one department is doing this right now, specifically Pasco County, Florida. We're working with a local vendor it's one of our distributors. Pasco County is one of the first ones to do this in the state of Florida, but they actually have two specific rigs that are actually floating around Pasco County, and they're collecting their gear, getting it cleaned up, and then they're exchanging a new set on scene to their firefighters so that these guys don't have to carry their contaminated gear on the rig. Chief officers, if they have to go in the building, what are they doing? They're carrying their gear and their supervisor's vehicle, and that's somewhat contaminating the back of the rig. So you got to be careful with that too.
Why did you say the hoods in particular?
Because it's another option. That so many of the shows that we've done, we've actually had people say, well, we're doing a two hood exchange right now as part of our gross decon. I'm like, well, what are you doing for your turnout gear? Well, we're washing everybody down, and then they get back on the rig, and then they kind of exchange their gear when they get back to the station. But so with that being said, I just thought it was another great application for departments that are just doing the two hood exchange. They can put their hoods in here and then take them back and wash. This goes right into the extractor. It gets washed. It gets turned inside out. It does not go in the dryer because it's actually 100% waterproof and nylon, so it's going to melt. So it will just get air dried, and then you can turn it right back inside, and then it'll actually get put right back in service. So it's minimal cost, depending on I've had some. I'll give you a prime example. Guys that use the contractor bags that are 6 to 10 mil that are all black in color. Bad thing about that is you can't see what's in it. I've had a couple departments that actually came up to me to show. They actually had a company that comes in and does janitorial services, and they clean the fire station itself. They mistakenly took those trash bags that were with turnout gear getting ready to get cleaned for trash, and they had 3 brand new sets thrown out. So that department is now using clear bags, but that doesn't do anything for the environment, obviously. So I usually try to tell everybody trash bags are for trash, not for turnout gear. So
right.
This is a great opportunity for us, to be preventative, to help prevention and cancer in the fire service. I've got, as you guys probably have, tons of friends that have come down with cancer, lung cancer, thyroid cancer. I have a really good friend who's retired from Grand Rapids. He just is dealing with prostate cancer, being in the fire service, and he attributes that to not cleaning his gear. They just didn't have any protocols back then. So,
well, the reason I said something about the hoods is because Rob said that guys are wearing their hoods, contaminated hoods.
Well, they're wearing it when they're not there, right? They come back, they keep it on the rig. I mean, I used to wear my gear in the office. I mean, I wore my gear 24 hours for years and years and years. So it's just that what we did to turn out fast, and now they're all coming down with cancer from the hoods. That's why when you said about the hoods, that stuck out in my head.
Well, 9 times out of 10, we've all back in the day, we usually just wear them around our neck.
Yep.
Or you put a spare one up in your lid or in your bellows pocket on the rig.
It was cold,
or in your pants rather, and
for God's sakes.
You've got a brand new clean hood, but it's already been exposed because you've had it in your pocket and you're not fighting fire, so you're putting a dirty hood back on. So.
Yeah, could you open up that bag, Drew? I want to see
absolutely. I don't know if you guys can see it now, but this is, like I said, it folds up like a clamshell, and then basically it's for all you campers out there, this is 100% dry bag. All the welds are heat sealed, so that's a big plus. And then basically, you're going to load that bag up, with the turnout gear. So I'm going to actually take my headset off 2 seconds. I'm going to show you what a full bag looks like when it's completely encapsulated with the turnout gear. So what you see right here is actually got a full set of turnout gear. It's got boots, gloves, a helmet inside. This will actually get put into your regular set of your fire gear bag itself, and then that can be transported in a personal vehicle, in the back of the rig, in the chief's buggy, and then back for cleaning. And then obviously you'll see how it's folded up like this. So it's very simple. The one thing that you're going to need to do, once you actually get the turnout gear and everything inside, including your helmet, you're going to fold it over, which is, you're going to do a 2 to 3 rollover like that. And then basically it's encapsulated.
Wow.
And you'll be able to carry that.
That's pretty neat.
Guys can put their name on it. If the department issues that to each firefighter, you can put the name on that. So when it goes out for cleaning, the gear gets turned back to the respective firefighter. The other thing is that we have on here is that this is an option. Everybody knows about accountability tags. So, we actually have a D-ring hook on here. So I'm using this as an example. This is one of the guys let me loan this. And basically, if you have a firefighter's name and identification tag on there, you can actually click that on there. So now you don't have to worry about writing on the bag itself. So now you know that clean gear is going to go back to that firefighter after it's been, obviously cleaned and decontaminated. So,
I can't believe you fit everything in there, the helmet and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. We've had some requests to develop some step-in tile bags, but right now this is what we have, and it seems to be working really well. The biggest obstacle that we have right now is, unfortunately with the whole COVID thing, it kind of put a damper on a lot of requests for budgets have been slashed because they're having to provide PPE for their firefighters and EMTs and paramedics, but we have got to get the departments and some of the unions involved to get them to start adding this to their program so they can be provided instead of the firefighters being able to have to pay out of pocket for these things.
Even so, Drew, it's not that expensive, right? What does it retail for?
It's not. It retails for $64.95, and it's not much. And I can tell you, we've actually tested these in an aggressive agitator washer as well as an extractor. And we've done 50 to 60 plus washes with not even coming apart. So, and the biggest problem that you have with trash bags is, when they get transported, usually I've talked to a few ISP facilities, usually when they get all these trash bags back to get the gear clean, some of the bags have been torn, they've been snagged, they've been, thrown in the side of the truck. They don't know what's in these bags. Some bags aren't tagged properly. It could have bloodborne on it. We don't even know. Mm-hmm. So they would sure like to know what's in, what they're getting when they're starting to deal with this kind of stuff. So,
and I think one of the most telling pics that you guys sent us for the show was this one here, where you guys were mentioning, a lot of guys are volleys and they're taking their gear in the home. And if you guys who are watching the show now notice, you see the gear bag right next to a child car seat, right? So, maybe you could touch on that, how important it is for the volleys who are watching, which we know we have a lot of,
Well, I can tell you that, me being a former volunteer as well, there's been numerous nights where I've gotten up in the middle of the night for a house fire or a building fire. And my department here in Maryland allows you to go direct to the scene if you need to. So you're driving POV to the scene, you're getting because you've either missed the rig or, it's close enough that you don't have to go to the station. And a lot of the guys are getting out, they're fighting fire, and then they come back. It's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they're exhausted, and then they throw their gear in their turnout gear bag, and then they throw it in the back of their personal vehicle. And they forget about it because that's Murphy's Law, that's going to happen. And so with that being said, now you've contaminated your personal vehicle with all that stuff that you just sat there and absorbed into your turnout gear for the last several hours. And, as we know back in the day, things are made a lot differently. So a lot of the stuff that's all the construction materials now, stuff that the cars are being made of, it's highly, highly toxic, and it's something that we have to be mindful of. So
I think that's the toughest part, especially with older guys, right? I mean, obviously the younger guys, if you get them started, the smart way, learning about this stuff early, when they have 30 years on the job or whatever they're doing on the job for that period of time, hopefully they won't be running into these issues. But when you talk to these old dinosaurs, right, and one, they didn't have masks, and two, then putting out car fires. I never wore a mask putting out a car fire. Never. I mean
I know
I went
drill.
through a car fire 2 times at 24, right? So you would just think to yourself, and you would go right in there and open up the hood and breathe the smoke, and hopefully I'll be here for another 30 years. But the way things, that's how we thought, and that's how we were brought up. Are you having trouble with those old timers at all? Like the guys fighting the system a lot?
I will tell you, I would say yes, and it's not. I don't know the ratio of that, but I will tell you that the older generation chief officers, there's some younger generation that's having some influence on these, because these are the ones that the guys that are going to the FDICs, and they're going to the continuing education class about cancer in the fire service, that kind of thing, and so that's a big plus, and they need to be open to it. I think that, as you know, we're not getting any younger. I've had some lung issues myself from fighting fire for the last 29 years. And obviously I've done some things in the past that I probably, rethinking it, I probably should have worn a mask and I didn't, so it's just I guess the nature of the beast. So.
Yeah. I mean, you had a cancer scare, right, Drew?
I did. It happened about 15 years ago, and it was unrelated to the medical issue that I had, but I was on a road trip, and unfortunately I got right away at Pittsburgh Medical Center, and they did a whole workup on me, but they found, obviously doing a CT scan on my lung, there was an issue, which I did not even know that I had. And I got back to my hometown and went to a lung specialist, and they ended up doing a biopsy just to make sure it wasn't cancerous. And it turns out I got diagnosed with sarcoidosis. So it's attributed to fighting fire, black lung, that kind of thing. And I have to keep a track of it. I have to get x-rays every year. And unfortunately, Pete and you and I were talking about this earlier. I have a chronic bronchial thing that happens, usually during the winter time. And now with COVID happening, you got to be really careful because you don't know what's going on. So it's like,
right
on top of everything else. So, but,
a lot of guys in the FDNY were coming down with sinus issues. I mean, a lot of guys that I know had sinus. Yeah. So it's one or the other, one of those things.
You know what? Ruffy, you were saying before a car fire, it's so funny. I went out, was it 2 nights ago, to walk the dogs with my son, Nick. And as soon as we stepped outside, I went, there's a car fire. So he goes, we're walking down the street. He goes, how do you know there's a car fire around? I go, telling you there's a car fire. Sure enough, we turn the corner, like 3 blocks down, you see a car fire. He goes, how did you know? I'm like,
it smells, man. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Like they have distinct smells. And if they have distinct smells like that, it ain't good for you, that smoke that you're breathing in, especially if you're getting it right in the mush, putting a car fire out.
Can you imagine if I thought now my God.
And this is what I said at the beginning of the show. I changed the way I'm thinking as a matter of fact, since we're doing this show. Because in the beginning, it was all about, right, guys are asking us if they clean the rigs, if we clean our, and we're like, we don't clean the rigs. We don't clean our rigs. The dirtier the better. The dirtier the better. And as we're getting older here, all of the guys that we know, they're all getting diagnosed with cancer. All of a sudden they got a back pain, and before you know it, oh, shit, what happened to that guy? Oh, he had cancer. Yeah, he's got pancreatic cancer. He's got two weeks to live, whatever it is, So it's not a joke anymore, especially when you have kids and you're retired and you say, all right, I'm 50 now. When you're young, you think you're going to live forever, so you don't really care. But as
that's what, somebody in the chat just put that out, Coobs. It said, it's funny, I'm retired now, and I think about it a lot more now. And that's the truth, because I didn't really ever think about it. People talked about it here and there as the mindset was changing, right? By the time I get off the job, I had a new helmet, and I had, new gear. They were washing the gear every 6 months, and this was in the FDNY, which is probably way behind a lot of the other the country. But yeah, sure. Now I'm thinking about every cough I ever went to, every food on the stove I walked into without a mask, it's endless stuff. And, hopefully some of the guys will take that to heart down the road,
Just think about the stuff that we track back working down at the pilot on 9/11. Every time we come up, what we used to do, we're supposed to leave our boots at the front door. Do you know how much stuff we're bringing back? Gear bags. Forget about gear bags.
Yeah.
You know, that's stuff that guys got to start thinking about. The young guys in here, you know, maybe we don't, make a penetration to the older guys, but the young guys who are watching the show, you guys got to think, you know, you're going to be where we're sitting one day. And you don't want to be laying in your bed going, oh, what is that? Oh, I got a pain in my is that cancer? I better go get that checked.
It's my pancreas.
Yeah.
Really?
I get a little pain in my back. Oh shit! I think I got pancreatic cancer. I got to get the doctor.
You know what's funny is you could still be. You know, we always tout the old guys, right? We get all the old guys on the show. We like the salty guys, and we like the old school way. But you could be aggressive and still clean your gear, right? You could still be aggressive and still do the right thing for yourself and your family. It doesn't mean that you have to, we make fun of guys who are wiping down, little wipes and stuff like that after the job. It's cute, but
they have that now, and it does aid. There's a few other manufacturers out there that actually have that now.
Anything that does, if it does or it doesn't, as long as it's in my head that it's helping, I'm doing it, right? I mean,
it'd be like a cop going out without a bulletproof vest. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You want to show how tough you are. It makes no sense. You're out there. Your life is already on the line. Why double down on the negative aspects of the gig? Bottom line.
Yeah, Drew.
I was going to say they even have some departments that are starting to adopt that clean cab concept. That several of the apparatus manufacturers, not to name any, but I'm just saying that there's a few in Florida that I've actually gone down there, and they've actually taken the SCBA out of the cab of the rig, and it's actually on one of the compartments. So they got to get out, they got to put the gear on, and it's a delay, and you're having to retrain your whole brain process because you're not really ready when you get to the scene. Now you got to jump out, put your gear on, put the pack on, and then grab a line or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
So.
Think about the guy with the wipes that came to how many years ago did he come to our booth, right? He brings the wipes like this. Oh, yeah, that's great. I swear to God, they must have sat in our booth at our table for years, right? And now you think about it, you're like, holy shit, maybe I should have been friggin' using these,
No doubt. And plus, I think you said it before, Drew, when we talk about the old guys, they had different product, right? They had different things burning as we do now, right? Windows were failing earlier, so a lot of the stuff maybe wasn't. Now everything's holding down. You got so much petroleum-based stuff going on, and it's so much more toxic. So
yeah, man,
it's totally different. You can't. Nobody's eating smoke.
You guys want to, look at my dad and my brother. My dad retired in 89. He died in 93. Man, my brother he retired in 2002. What did he get? 4 or 5 years? You don't want to collect your pension for 4 or 5 years. You don't want to bust your ass for 20, 25 years on the job, only to die a couple of years, after you retire. So you guys
can't imagine, guys.
You got to think about that when you're young and on the job. I know you think you're invincible and you can do anything, but you have to start thinking about that when you're young.
What do they say? They used to say, "What, clean cabs don't make brabs." Is that it?
Yeah.
Couple guys. I mean, listen, it's all.
I've heard that before.
yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, go ahead.
A couple guys were asking, how do they get a hold of their local vendor, or do they buy it direct from you guys? Or a couple guys in the chat were asking.
So basically, here's a couple ideas. They can contact me directly at drew@truenorthgear.com. And then send all their inquiries to me, or they can send it through sales@truenorthgear.com. There's 2 ways to go about doing it. I'll eventually get it. And then if they're interested, I would like to suggest a couple things. And we've had this conversation with several large countywide departments. And in order to reduce the cost, let's get maybe a countywide consortium together. You get more departments on board to do a bulk buy. We can lower the cost of that for those guys and make it more affordable. Couple other options they can do if they have a current vendor that they buy their turnout gear from. We've worked with a couple of the turnout gear manufacturers to actually incorporate the Decon bag into the cost of a set of turnout gear. So they're blending that into the cost. So every time they buy a brand new set of turnout gear, they're going to get one of these.
Well, that's a good deal.
So that could be something. It doesn't matter whether with Globe, Lion, Honeywell, it doesn't matter whoever it is. It's just that could be a conversation that I could have with that distributor. I'd be more than happy to help those guys out.
Have you had made any inroads to bigger departments, with the bunker gear trying to?
We have, and right now we're kind of sitting on a couple large departments right now in Florida, to name a few, and basically right now it's kind of a wait and see. It's a budgetary thing. They've got to go through the steps. One department wants to give every firefighter one. They're looking at 1,400 bags, and I think that's great if they could provide that to every firefighter that's on duty, and then. Of course, that firefighter takes it with them. It's not going to go nowhere. It's not going to be thrown away. They'll be able to reuse that for the life. So
listen, Drew. To all guys, guys pay the departmentship for providing it. But if you guys are volleys and you're throwing your gear in your car where your kids are, where your groceries are when you're grocery shopping, and you can't afford 64 or whatever it is for this bag, you guys are out of your mind because you blow.
Oh, we lost him.
We lost him, and look at him too. He's all frozen up.
Well, what he was saying was that basically you could blow $60 at the bar. I'm sure is what he was going to say, or you could blow it, doing anything, going out on one night. Where this could be something that you have for the rest of your career at least.
Yeah, and it's super important with the volunteers because, I think that, a lot of the small rural fire departments that are out there that don't have a lot of money that rely on the Fire Act grants that are provided by FEMA. You can also these are just suggestions that I've heard within the last 6 to 8 months. Now that we have COVID, there's also a CARES Act grant that some departments that are applying for that. And I don't know a lot about that, but I've just been told through the grapevine that they could actually look into applying for a grant like that. They can put this into that and they can provide it for their firefighters. It's not very expensive. It's an investment. And I tell you right now, if my department didn't provide it for me, I would be spending the $60 myself to have that, knowing that I'm not going to contaminate my wife's vehicle or my kids or my dog or whatever.
How long is it? How long has it been out, Drew?
We've had it out for about 2 years now. This would have been the third FDIC, obviously, that we've been going, to show it. And every year we seem to be getting more and more traction on it. But it's that mindset that it's not everyone's top priority. They're looking at more of like loose equipment. They want to get the essential,
of course,
the turnout gear, the helmets and gloves, that kind of thing. And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about Decon. So it's like, okay, well, let's talk about Decon. So
we always talk about that too on the show, that you'll go to the shows and some kid will want to buy like a $600 leather helmet or something, and he's just a buff or something like that, and you know what I mean? Or other guys are spending that kind of money on a cool looking piece of kit, but this is like practically no money in the long run. You know what I mean? Think about what you're saving on plastic bags alone, and then it's also saving people's lives. Sealing off like that. So
saving your own life, man. Give me a break. Look, Ruffy, how many times we see guys walking around with hooks or they're buying Halligans or you
could do that. I'm not saying you can't do that. We're just saying that especially it's always those younger guys, right? I could understand older guys. We're all Neanderthal, right? In the end, we're cavemen. So you're not changing guys' minds overnight. So it's taking some time, and it seems like it's happening just from what me and Kevin do in the business. You know what I mean? We're constantly talking to guys. Obviously, with the podcast now, we talk and email a lot of people, and it definitely is changing. That's why we have you guys on, right? Because it's important, because that's what we're worried about now is getting cancer. Like Kevin said, every one of I could name 20 guys in the last couple of months that have gotten cancer from just guys I know in the FDNY, right? So it's the young guys that are going to give you the traction initially, like everything. When we first got turnout gear in the FDNY, my God, you would have thought they crapped on your birthday cake. But over time, now I couldn't imagine going into a fire without that. So it's going to get there. It's just the time factor, probably.
Yeah, they're improving. Obviously, the turnout gear these days is actually a lot better than we were back when we all first started. So that's a big thing. They've got cancer preventative, materials now. The Block's 99 0.9% of the carcinogens. They're selling hoods now that actually have that.
Really?
They never had that before.
Wow.
So
That's good.
It's getting high technology. Unfortunately, it's a little late, but it's better for our younger generation now.
Yeah, no, those are the guys.
Absolutely.
Those are the guys.
Have you gone to the FDNY yet? Have you?
I have not been to FDNY yet with this bag. We've had some conversations. In fact, his name escapes me, but I actually had shown this to one of the guys that came by our booth last year or 2 years ago at FDIC. We had given him a bag to test out, and I don't think it really went anywhere. I think he was an instructor, so he wanted to really do a field test. And then one of the biggest thing was him instructing, and then obviously him floating, filling in for the overtime. That was a big thing. He wanted to actually try it out and use it when he was bouncing from all over, from
Well, that's how it be used in our job, right?
Yeah, and so the last conversation I had, he said he absolutely loved it, but he didn't know he wasn't at that level to push it up.
You got to go to R&D where all great ideas go to die. That's a great place to go. Really.
I'd like to go to Randall's Auto, man. Y'all got any leads over there? I think my last contact over there, was
not that Kevin knows that firsthand. It's just that Kevin knows that firsthand.
Yeah. We should have our shit like this. Hey, look, you got a gear bag over here? Oh, what do I got over here? That's how those big sit.
Come on.
Allegedly. It really doesn't work that way.
I understand.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so what else we got on the gear bag? Let's get a little more, some more.
Well, we do have like a video about loading it. But you pretty much
throw it up. I want to see it.
Okay, stand by. Coming up.
Mike.
Boom.
He fit it all in there. I didn't think it was
Yeah,
going to
it's super simple. I mean, it's not complicated at all, guys. It's super simple, and it's like I said, it's an investment, and we just got to change the mindset of everybody now. That's the obstacle for me for 2021 is getting more people educated on the importance of this Decon bag.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Pete, we got any questions? You want to throw it out to the nitwits out there in the chat?
Let's
Somebody
see.
was asking Hamilton Township.
Oh, do you guys? Someone was saying. Oh, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but someone was saying, does the bag come in smaller sizes for other gear? But I don't know if that was.
It's 75 liters. It will actually, we've tested it out. We've fit some bigger sizes in there with somebody that has let's just say a 56 or 58 coat, 14-inch boots, that kind of thing. Might not be able to foot your helmet in there if the larger the gear. Obviously, it's gonna bulk it out. But those seams are not gonna bust at all. They're heat welded, so that thing is just indestructible. So I think they'd be fine with that. But that's the only size that we actually offer for that right now.
And not to mention, it's like a dry bag. So the folding down, you can fold down till till you
wanna
hit the
make
top
it
of the gear.
smaller. Yeah.
And make it smaller, exactly. So it really wouldn't need anything else. But yeah.
Hey,
would
Drew,
boots
somebody's asking if, I used to do the same way. I used to keep my boots and the turnout pants together. I wouldn't separate them because it was a pain in the neck. Obviously, they would fit in there like that, correct?
Yeah. The way that you're going to want to wash that, the bag is with your outer shells only. That's how I was always told. You wash your outers separate from your inners. So there's no cross contamination, that kind of thing. So I would recommend doing it that way. I mean, that's for 1851, the way that the ISP facility would like you to do it. But if you guys don't want to do that, you can throw it in there all together. Just remember one thing, like I said before, this does not go into the dryer. Some departments actually have one of these, they're called a dry box. It's just fan forced heat. It's not hot at all, where they kind of hang it up there and it's kind of like a little mannequin where they hang the gear on itself and it air dries. If you wanted to hang it, you could actually hang that inside and just let it air dry or wipe it down, because nothing's going to get absorbed to this. You don't have to worry about it. Even if you had something that was bloodborne on your turnout gear, you were at a medical scene and something got all over your gear, it's going to wash off. You're just going to obviously decon it with some bleach, mild soap and water, and then dry it. So it's not going to get absorbed. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, Drew, somebody was asking, is it just, for firefighting chemicals and stuff like that? Or if you go to a hazmat run, you get some other chemicals on it, will the bag withstand other types of chemicals?
I'll tell you what, I can look into that. I haven't had anybody ask me about that before. As far as chemicals, I know that if it's, I don't believe we've tested this against, like, let's just say hydrochloric acid or something like that. I don't know how that would turn out, but I can sure as hell, check it out, and I'll get back to them. So if they want to submit that question to you, and then you can get to me, I'll be more than happy to get back with them, later this week. Absolutely.
Right. Okay, cool.
In it being a dry bag, and here's something else for our USAR friends that, a lot of these guys get deployed out for the FEMA teams, and, a lot of their cash is sitting on tarmacs waiting to get flown out, to wherever their destination is. But they might use our rolling duffel bag, which you kind of see behind. You could actually put all your cash in this and use it as a dry bag if you wanted to. So you're keeping all your essentials from getting wet, and then you put it in there. And I've done that traveling before, knowing that I'm traveling in thunderstorms. And unfortunately, my luggage, my luck of the draw, I usually get stuck at Charlotte Airport and on the tarmac, and it's getting soaking wet while they got a ground stop. So it is what it is.
Right.
Milner wants to know if you could fit in the bag.
I'm trying to ignore these nitpicks in these guys.
Well, hold on. I will tell you this. We tested this out, and Steve's going to shoot me for saying this. At our 25-year reunion, we actually had a bean bag race with our Decon bag at our 25th. Right. So there's video somewhere of us with the entire True North team out in Seattle doing this hopscotch, beanbag race, and it was absolutely hilarious. And it did great.
Perfect.
Someone said that the bag comes
in my sleeping bag. It was my sleeping bag.
And someone's saying that they come in 3 sizes: extra large, large, and Kubler.
Yeah.
He ain't lying.
I'll send you guys one. You can get in it and stand in it and try it.
Now they're funny. Now they want to make funnies, right? When we had the 5-minute of fury, nobody's funny. Now all of a sudden everybody's funny.
That was pretty funny.
Hilarious.
That wasn't bad. Drew's used to that. He's a fireman. He knows what it's like around the kitchen table, bro.
I do. And one thing I was going to tell you guys is, if you guys are interested in me saying this, is that we do wear tests. So if you have a customer, or say one of your viewers is looking into for their fire department, whether they're volunteer, career, or combination, doesn't matter. They could submit the request to me, and we'll be more than happy to get them, enroll them into a field test to see if that would be a
there you go.
for department. So this is how we send out, get everybody excited about the product line. So that's
what was your Petey? Put Drew's email up.
I'm sorry.
I was saying to Pete, put Drew's email up again, so that if people want to get into that program, they just email him at Drew. Yeah. What was it? Drew at
Drew at TrueNorthGear.com.
There you go.
So that's
Drew
a good gig.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Send them a little sob story.
One thing I was going to say, guys, is that you offer a lot of other bags as well. So bag to carry your Decon bag in as well, right? Like, so they're easily transportable, gear bags of all sorts, all kinds of different products. So it's not just this one item as well. So here we go, Drew. This is it, right? Drew at truenorthgear.com.
That's it. Yep. In fact, if you don't have one of our bags and you currently already own a turnout gear bag, which a lot of people already have their own, that bag will most likely fit into your current gear bag. So you don't have to go out and buy another gear bag just because. I mean, you're just adding another accessory for what you already own.
Because you guys have manly bags. That's why they're manly bags.
And if you guys look here, this is just some of the stuff you guys are running here, and there's pages and pages of gear. So that's really awesome, guys. Good stuff for sure.
Yeah,
oh man,
I like
there
it.
You go. Nice duffels, all kinds of personal pouches, duffels. What's this fireball pack that looks cool?
The fireball pack is actually specific for it's for wildfire guys, and they carry a shelter case, essentials that they need on the fire line. So they're going to carry water bottles, torches, fusees, that kind of thing. And we have, if you look at our website, you're going to actually see that we've got different variations of packs. It's all about storage space. Some are engine packs, some are fuel packs, and such. And then, of course, you're looking at the Beast Duffel Bag that's right there right now. That is actually one of our most popular duffel bags. We sell hundreds to thousands of those a year. We have a lifetime warranty on that thing. So if it breaks, we'll replace it. And so that's kind of been our go-to. That we call it the Beast. I mean, I think I've only seen one time where one of our customers actually ended up breaking one. And it was due to one of the airlines throwing it off the tarmac. And he bent the handle on it. So we replaced it. So
listen, if fireman ain't breaking it, it ain't breaking.
Yeah, it ain't breaking it, right?
They can break anything.
Joe G in the chat said Lou's giving out emails addresses. Could you imagine? Said, email Lou if you missed Drew's. I'm like, no,
because it's not. Yeah, because it's not.
It's not me.
Because it's not your email. That's why you're giving it out.
Definitely do.
All right.
Email Drew.
All right, guys.
Drew, was there anything else we missed before we get out?
I just really want to thank you guys for having me on today, and I hope this is a great start to a new relationship with you guys. Like to come on here again to do another discussion with another topic, and
absolutely, man.
Hopefully, at some point in time, we can actually see each other in person and enjoy a nice cold beverage.
Oh yeah, bring that hat with you. Bring that hat.
I will.
Yeah, man. And
we checking out your website. I'm gonna buy some shirts and stuff. I gotta check out.
Don't cramp up. Don't cramp.
I guess don't buy. You send your thing to Louis. Your size.
No emails. No emails. Call Coobs. You got his number. Call Coobs.
Drew, email it to me and I'll send you whatever you need.
Make sure to ask us if the FDNY is going to start using leather helmets again in the email. That's a favorite question.
Yeah, Lou loves that one.
So before we
we got to give out where they got to go to get the free. We're giving away what? Cuatro? Uno, dos,
yeah,
tres,
we're getting
cuatro?
5, cinco. So
cinco.
Cinco, buddy. So I'm putting the link in the chat as well right now. But for everyone who's listening, it's http://bit.ly/Gettin Salty _Decon giveaway, and that was the short.
I'll put it on the Facebook and the Instagram, so it'll be everywhere. Don't worry about it.
Let's show the power of the Leatherhead Nation. Get over there. Plus the fact that it's free, you cheap son of guns. Get over there and get out there. Check out the link. We're giving away 5 Decon bags to you guys. So you'll have your own. You can flaunt it around the firehouse. Look what I got. Look what I got. And tell your friends. Get over there.
What do they have to? What do they have to input on that, Pete? They just got to put their name and.
You got to sub to. You got to sub to the both Facebook pages and then the YouTube page, and then just input your email, I believe, and then they're good to go. But you'll see the instructions come up pretty clear via the link. So head on over to True North Gear, guys, and Get in on it. We're giving away 5 of them. It's gonna be awesome.
Did I say they were free? I said free,
They
right?
are free.
I said
Absolutely.
five
Free.
for free.
And when is that
said that.
until? What,
Next
we're
week.
doing this on Monday the 18th, correct?
Next
Did you
couple
say
weeks,
that
yeah. Yep.
Yes. So
Correct.
get over there, leave your email, sign up. We'll pick your name out of Louis' new hat over there. I like his hat. And we're going to give away 5 of them. And we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with True North. They're cool.
Hey, I wanted to tell you guys briefly, real quickly. I just had an email come across from a guy from Dickinson City Fire. He just inquired about the Decon Bag. So thanks for the plug-in, guys. Appreciate
Yeah,
Right
awesome,
away.
man. That's why you're here.
Yep. If I didn't mention free, I meant to say free. free.
Capital FR, capital EE.
Free. Yeah. True
Do it.
North. Free. Drew. Give it. Get it. Do it. Come on. Do it.
Wait,
All right.
come
Pete, what
on.
do we got on Thursday night, my friend? Louis.
Thursday night, we have Tony Variali. I'm pretty sure he was close to 30 years on the FDNY. He was in 67 engine. He was in 217 engine, 290 engine. I think he finished up in
290,
302
What
engine.
was that? 290.
Just look up in the sky, bro.
Follow the smoke.
If I hear that one more time, Drew, I've been listening to that for I don't know how many years now.
It's like, you're like an Indian. Just look up, look for the teepee. That's it, man. Look for the smoke.
Look for the burning smoke. All right, cool. Drew, you are a gentleman. I like the hat. We're going to get together. For you guys that don't know, I believe they're moving FDIC to August, I believe. So maybe
That is
we'll hook
correct.
up with Drew and FDIC. Do you do FDIC, Drew?
We do. Hopefully that we'll be there. I don't know how this is
No,
going
I
to roll.
said you. Do you do it?
Oh, I do it. Absolutely. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Last year was the only year I've ever missed in 20
What about
years.
Jackie? Because she's a lot better looking than you.
I gotta figure out
Jackie.
we gotta figure out how to get here without flying. So
No
I'll
offense.
figure it
No
out.
offense. I like you.
Come on, man.
Might have to go pick her up in Seattle and drive her.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Drew. Guys, get out there. You know what to do. Free for free. Get in there.
Thanks for the info, Drew. Very, very good stuff.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate your
Excellent.
time tonight.
Great show,
Thank you very
dude.
much.
Oh, look. Pete's dog just wandered into the background there. Check it out.
No, she's been there. She's been there the whole time. That
She
little.
dropped the juice right on your couch.
She's right. Oh God.
You're not going to scream at her, are you?
Only save that for the children.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys Thursday night. Stay low and go, guys.
All right. We'll see you at the
Stay
Big
safe,
Boys.
guys. See.